I was so surprised and so shocked about this approach to cancer, because I couldn't even say the word because it was too frightening. You told me all about your cancer and I could just relate. It was like you talking about me. It is amazing that you can work within yourself this short time and do so much. I'm not even afraid anymore because I'm in touch instead of blocking it out. It's a different way to experience cancer. Thank you for cancer. Now it's your time to live your life.
How did you feel when you first heard about your cancer diagnosis?
I went to mammography as every second year. In Sweden, we have free mammography every second year. I went there from work just over lunch. So I'm working in the military, so I had the uniform on. And they were just doing the scan. And then they said, we'll send you a letter in 1 or 2 weeks. Fine. And this is the same procedure as every second year since I was 40 years old. And on Friday, I get a letter in my mailbox, and it says, you have to come on Monday because there is something wrong with one of your breasts. When I got that letter, I immediately, first of all, I have a bar in my house. I went to the bar, and I believe I drank about 1 bottle of whiskey and got really, really drunk, so I can actually fall asleep and forget it, which was the worst thing you can do, actually, because of course the day after I had this huge hangover, and of course the situation wasn't any better, and I knew that I have to wait Saturday and Sunday before Monday going back and have somebody to talk to with the doctors, whatever it is. And my life just stopped. I mean, it felt like you've been hit by a train, and you're standing on a railway, and the train hits you and you can't move. It was just like that. It was a shock, and it was like I couldn't eat, I couldn't swallow, I couldn't even drink because I couldn't swallow. My the muscles were so tensed of the fear that I couldn't even eat or swallow. I couldn't do the little things like go to the kitchen and make me a cup of tea. I didn't know how. It was like I was empty, and it just was that was the feeling. 3 weeks, actually.
So you went through this anxiety and fear for 3 weeks.
Yes.
Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry.
Yeah. When I went to the doctor Monday, she said we have to do an operation and take it out. And so I said, yeah, fine. And so I was handling it somehow. I don't know how, but what happened was that I decided not drink at all, first of all, because it was the wrong way to deal with it. And I started to write my testament and see who is going to benefit when I die. That was the only thing I did the first week. And of course, I had to call the work that I can't come to the work. I was on sick leave, and there were a lot of people calling. I couldn't deal with it. I couldn't talk. I have a really, really nice connection with my mother, who is 82 and very, very handicapped and sick. And so we had some talks and cries, of course, and she was as shocked as me. So she was very, very badly as well. And so this was, I was living in an empty sphere with no connection to the real world, to my life.
So I know you were introduced to do you call her Gili or Gila?
Gila.
I know you were introduced to Gila.
Yeah.
But why did you decide to talk to her, to start working with her?
There was two reasons actually. One is I'm very good friend with her brother. We have a really nice connection as friends. And out of the blue, 3 weeks after my diagnosis, that he called me and I answered, and I told him what happened to me, and he said that you should talk with Gila because she's been through this. And this was really strange for me because I'm a control freak, really, really badly controlling freak. And but when he suggested it, and then I told him I will do anything to get better than this. This is no way of living the rest of my life. Because I knew that suddenly I was staring death in the eyes. And so I knew that my time was short and I was going to die. This is not the way I want to spend the rest of my days, being in this fear and in this distress, actually. So I told him, I'll do anything. Just tell me what to do. I'll do anything. That was how it started, actually.
Okay. So you said there were two reasons. One was that you knew her brother.
And the other one was that I was really, really afraid of leaving my mom because there's nobody who could take care of her. So I did it for me, but as for my mother, actually. I didn't know what to expect with Gila. I thought maybe we will talk and she will tell me some comforting words, that she had cancer and she's still here or whatever, and like and I thought, well, anything that will help me to get from this panic attack life right now is better than living this way. So I was open to anything but alcohol.
So what happened to you once we talked?
When we got in touch, the first thing, or one of the first things, Gila shocked me by saying, you should thank your cancer. You should thank your cancer. Welcome, cancer. And I was so surprised and so shocked about the way this approach to cancer, because I couldn't even say the word. I was the lump or the thing or whatever. I couldn't even speak out the word cancer, actually, because it was too frightening. And so this was actually one of the first thing I remember Gila said, welcome, thank you for cancer. Now it's your time to live your life. This is how it started. And I thought, well, I'm going to live now then. I want to try this. So this is how it started. But it was almost 3 weeks before we got in touch. And that was because her brother suggested it almost like week after my diagnosis, but I wasn't ready. Mm-hmm. I was so handicapped. I was so paralyzed that I wasn't ready to receive or listen or deal with it. I didn't know how to listen even to somebody. I didn't answer any of the calls and nothing, because I didn't know how. So I had this 3 weeks of hell before I realized that I have to do something to be able to live the rest of whatever May days I have left better than this. And that's why I got the power to do this with Gila, of course. The overall parts are that she gave me tools for me to be able to think differently and start to deal with things that happens to everyone around all the time differently. For example, the way just to say the word cancer, it was so hard for me. I couldn't even move my lips. But just to acknowledge it on a different way, and then caress it somehow as well, made me more open and more vulnerable, yes, but at the same time I started immediately to feel that I'm not dead yet, because it was like I was dead actually those 3 weeks. So suddenly I started to feel that, hey, I have feelings, I have things to want to do, or to want to experience. And suddenly I did, which with the tools made me to realize that it's not the end of the, I'm not dead, I'm still alive. And so let's start living.
I have one question which is very important for me. What was the thing? Because obviously when we start to talk, you're still in this darkness and frozen emotion. What was in that chat? Because I can't remember the chat. I can't remember what I told you, because I'm intuitive all the time. What was it over there that woke you up? And then explain also what happened after that, the reaction.
Well, the thing that woke me up was, thank you for cancer. That was the it was like, there is a reason, and this is it, and now you can work with it. That was an eye-opening. Suddenly I opened my eyes and I realized that, yes, this is cancer and I have it for a reason. Let's see what the reason is and why. And so this is actually my way of saying, let's start live. Because I haven't been doing that much good living the last 8 years, what we found out later. And let's do it differently, and let's have fun. And this was such a release for me, for my inner soul. I didn't want to stop talking with you because of the way I felt, and the way I felt suddenly more alive than I was before I got the cancer. And so suddenly I didn't have to drink. I didn't have to smoke weed or whatever. I didn't have any. I just felt like it's from me. It's my life, and it's now my time to live. It sounds very easy now, but it's a hard work to get there. But it's It's a very, this was the eye awakening thing. When you start to feel like your life is flowing, it starts to flow, and suddenly you go, wow, I enjoy this, or oh, I don't care about this. And then you say, why did I did that? Why did I care before? And what's the matter? And all this experience you get through, you suddenly feel like you are newborn and doing things first time.
What happened after the conversation? What was the reaction?
After the eye opening, I went for a walk, and I had, because I haven't been outside the house for 3 weeks, and suddenly I felt like I I I I can go out. I can be with the world again. And I was walking, and I felt like, now this is a message. Listen to it and do it right this time. And so that was the message, that the start to live again. That was like, I suddenly I just wanted to live. I could not uh, I could not see myself standing on the railway anymore.
What three things would you tell someone who might be unsure about, you know, getting help from Gila? Like, are there three things like, this is why you should do this? This is important for you to know about maybe your experience with her.
Just do it, because it's amazing to experience this. But don't be afraid of new things, because I'm I'm a logical control freak, and it's not easy to convince me of anything that isn't put on a paper, a master paper or whatever. So don't be afraid. That is very important. Try
Okay.
new things, and put yourself first.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, which I haven't been doing, of course. And believe in you. Believe in you, in your in. I mean, I'm believing that I can do things that I haven't ever dreamt of being able to do. Whatever it is, it's just great to feel that you can do things that you never ever thought that you would be able to, like surviving and have fun as well.
How did I manage to go through this very strong mind of yours? Because I never really told you what to do, did I?
Well, yes, you did. That was about our first session, I think. You had we had like an hour or more of your experience. You told me all about your cancer, how you what you went through, what you felt, and I could just relate to the point that I was you. It was like you talking about me, and that was why I listened, actually.
What do you think about cancer now, Milena?
I'm still just telling you this because I don't think that nobody around me at home or at work could even think this way. But I'm there, and I'm thanking cancer for this experience. But I'm just telling you, or now Christine as well. But I'm not telling anybody else yet, because
Yet.
it's everybody. I can tell by when I'm going somewhere, that people are afraid of me.
You relate to this, Gila.
Hey, Angelica.
Gila had just asked Milena, what do you think about cancer now? And she was saying something so interesting. She said, I just am telling you this, or I guess us, that I'm thanking cancer for this experience. I'm there, but I don't tell anyone else because
Mhm.
they're afraid of me.
They will think I'm crazy.
Yeah, I'll think
Yeah.
I'm crazy.
And I was just about to say that during our very short journey up to now, because Milena, we are just talking about a week before the operation, and now it's the first day after we break for a week when we didn't actually shoot the journey from Monday of the operation.
Mhm.
And Milena a few times came to me and say, this nurse told me that how can you feel so happy when you just been diagnosed? And
Yes.
we had few conversation about it. And from my experience of the last 25 years, the society are not ready to allow us to heal
Yeah.
because they expect a person with cancer to be depressed. Yet,
Mhm.
in order to heal, we need to actually be alive in the very high energetic way. We need to be connected to life.
Yeah,
Mm.
and it's interesting because I just read something 2 days ago about this guy who healed himself by watching comedies,
Yes.
just
Mhm.
laughing. He laughed
Yeah.
himself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and how important that the joy and laughter and happiness is
Yeah.
to our health.
People thought I was hysterical when I was laughing about cancer from day one, from the first moment.
Mhm.
And people thought I was crazy
Mhm.
when the whole society really look at it a completely different and opposite way.
Yeah.
We found ourselves finally,
Yes.
and we are so happy, and people think that we're crazy,
Yes.
and yet
And
we're
it
just connected.
and for sure has to do with that you suddenly realize that your life is not endless, and maybe you don't have that much time, and then you suddenly, because as I told Gila before, I could do this journey with her. If I did this, I might get to this point in, if I don't have cancer, maybe in 1 or 2 years, and I can be to this point in maybe 1 or 2 years. But when you diagnose with cancer, you have the ability to speed up this awareness of it.
Process of awareness, yeah.
Yes, and the processing is going very naturally and very fast, because you are in this position that you do it just for you, and suddenly there is nothing else that is more important.
That's why I love working with people with cancer, because the process of it's to be or not to be.
Yes.
Simple.
Yes. Right.
And the whole process is speeding up.
Mm-hmm.
As you can see, because I mean, seriously, we just start to work like 2 weeks ago, roughly.
Yeah.
I think
True.
my feeling is that when you find out about cancer, the rest of your life stops.
Yes.
And then that gives you the space to start seeing things more clearly.
Yes. And of course you are then also accept things differently.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
because otherwise it's all this disturbing things around you that is uh, um, calling upon you all the time.
What do you see in your future?
I'll see a very happy, content Milena with loads of um, um, happy experience ahead of me. Before cancer, when you were, I was sitting down somewhere with friends, and I said, well, when I get to this point, or when I get this old, I'm gonna do this, or when I get this car, I'm gonna be this and that, and all this. But it's not that happiness. It's the inner happiness. It's the awareness of being alive. It's not a new car or a new whatever in a house or something. It's not that happiness, because that doesn't mean anything now, actually. It's just a thing. And it's so different from what I was like before in December, for that matter. I was, oh, well, I'm going to retire in a year, and I'm going to do this and that and that. And there's nothing left of that. I'm not seeing that anymore, because it's not important. It's so much more that is so much more important for me to be with friends that are that makes me happy, and feel alive, and just being alive is really, really comforting.
I'm not teaching a method.
No.
I'm basically teaching you to get into the places where you start to be introduced to your inner parts. What did you learn about your inner parts in the last short journey that we took?
I have three parts that I'm addressing all the time now. And of course, the brain is one of them. And my brain has been conducting my life the last 8 years. Totally, without any thoughts about what my body wants or feels, or my soul feels. It's always been the brain that is been going straight ahead, and nothing else mattered. And I now with the tools, I found that I have a soul that also needs nourishment, and I also have a body that needs to be attended to. And the body is just, I found the body just 5 days ago. So it's been a journey. It's a fast journey, but I'm aware of now the whole of me, not just the brain and the control freak that has been chasing me the last 8 years, actually.
You didn't really were in touch even to the idea of talking to a soul like 2 weeks ago. And
yeah. We call her, we call my soul Nut. I'm Nut.
Called your soul nuts?
Yeah, Nut.
where's your nut?
Here, it's here.
That's the soul, that's her soul brought her to her as a symbol.
Yeah.
To remind her of her.
Yeah.
So my question is, how come from a person who didn't even thought about the existence of those conversations that you will get involved in, suddenly you get messages from your soul?
Because I know now that it's always been there, but I didn't listen. And of course, I can remember now from a long time ago that there's been messages to me given by my soul, but I ignored it, or my brain thought that that was nothing to be aware of. I dismissed it instead of listening. And the same thing for the body, actually.
In this process, I'm not the one who is leading. I'm not the healer. I'm just teaching how to get to those parts of us and get in touch with them. Because once we are in touch with those parts, they're our guidance. And I could see it in you, Milena, because it was so beautiful to see that when you stepped into those conversations, it wasn't like you were following me anymore, but you were following you, and you felt like you came back home, and you were suddenly you found yourself back again. It's not like you found the method.
No, and you didn't invent anything. It was there.
Yeah.
But I just didn't. I was too blind to see it.
She have the guides inside. She needed a guide to allow her to see that she have those guides.
Yes, I could hear my soul sometimes, but I didn't know that it was my soul, and I didn't know how to interpret it. This is the voice that Gila gave me to interpret it. Now, what does it say? What is listen? What is it saying? And stuff like that, which is all me actually still, but I didn't have the tools or the ways of interpreting it. I just thought that, oh, I don't know what that means, and my brain took over all the time. The logical way of thinking when you are not in harmony, actually. If you ask my mother, because of the COVID, I haven't seen her since March, but we talk on the phone every day, of course. Every day she could hear on my voice and how I speak and how I behave in our language, on interpretations, that she is so surprised. My mother says she helped you so much. I can hear on your voice. I can hear it how you talk. I can hear it. And on Sunday nights before the operation, we called each other, and she says, "Are you afraid?" I said, "No, I have Gila to help me there, and that's why I'm where I am. I'm not even afraid anymore, because I'm in touch instead of blocking it out." So even my mom can feel the difference, the real difference in how those last 2.5 weeks has been, which is really great. And my friend, my best friend, that is helping me by picking me up at the hospital, and she was there when I got diagnosed as well. She said the same thing. You are different. You are so alive. You are so. You're not stressed. You're not negative. You're not. You feel like you're alive, and it shows, apparently. Yeah.
That's the journey. That's how you create energy.
Yes.
It's basically the same thing like this guy who was sitting in a hotel room and watched those videos, those funny videos. But you're just watching at life at the moment, and you're fixing as well the inner conversation inside. Like you're fixing, you learn how to drive yourself better with all your parts.
Yes. And of course, that is the way of to become that. You have to listen, and you have to allow yourself to listen to whatever it comes. Yeah, it's a great, it's an amazing journey. It's like, learning to when the child learns to ride a bike first time. It's like, whoa, and suddenly it comes naturally. You don't even think about that you are holding the balance on the bike.
By the way, before she went to sleep, before they put her under anesthetic, you want to tell them what happened?
Well, um, I have this tool, right, to listen to all of my parts, and my soul hasn't been happy for the last 7-8 years, of course. So I worked a lot about that, to have fun. And I was really on Monday morning, I was really looking forward to this operation, because I know we're going to have fun. This is a good experience and we're going to have a load of fun. And so I told the two girls that were putting me down on anesthetic, I told them to read me a good night story. And they were too young. They didn't have any kids, so they didn't know any. So I said, well, can you sing me a lullaby then? And they did. And they start to sing like nin, like na 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 na. And then the other guys or the other personnel to the operation, and the surgeon and everybody came into the room, and they were singing, all of them, but not the same lullaby, but everybody was, the whole room went, and it was so nice. It was really nice.
And that's how you went to sleep.
Yes. And that's why I woke up happy as well.
Of course.
Yeah. That was the last thing. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, I'm so sorry I have to skedaddle now. Thank you so much. Bye-bye now.
Bye.
Bye,
Okay.
Christine.
Nice
Have a
meeting
lovely
you.
I'm really impressed with your journey, how quickly
Well,
you've
thank you.
grown. It's really beautiful to see. And I've been kind of like on a spiritual path for a long time, and you did probably what a lot of people do in 20 years in a month. So
less than a month. I mean, we started to work on it two and a half weeks ago.
Yeah, it's really beautiful.
Yeah. It is amazing that you can actually work within yourself this short of time, and do so much that somebody could never do in 20 years, actually. So it's, I mean, the normal medicine or whatever. Yeah. And I just feel sorry for those who don't have the ability to make this journey, because it is overwhelming and overturned the whole life of mine, and the way I see things, and the way I wake up to, and the way I like, example, I'm a control freak, right? And every afternoon when I drive back home, I'm in a hurry. I don't know why, because there's nobody waiting, or there's nothing, I'm just in a hurry. I just want to get home. And I'm really aggressive driver, and I get so pissed off by people that are driving slow or by the limits and everything. And this anger in me and everything is also a thing that is just disappeared. I'm just taking the flow. I'm flowing. I'm just like, there's nothing that will bother me. There's nothing that could upset me. And I see things so differently. So what? He's in front of me, and he's going 40 instead of 50. So what? That's it. I mean, I don't have, and I deal with things differently. Like if there is some kind of small shitty problems, I don't even care anymore. And I often even laugh at me, because I can see that my old me, it's just like 1.5 months ago was crazy, driving like crazy and honking, come on, stupid thing and stuff. And now I can laugh at it because how silly was that? Why? It's just a little example, but it's all different parts of the daily life that is so different.
If you were, if someone was thinking about working with Gilly, and they were kind of afraid or, I'm not sure, like, what would you tell them?
The first thing is that go in with open mind and don't be afraid, because it's a little, for me, it was a little bit frightening. It took me 3 weeks before I decided to talk to her, because it's unknown. It's not that something that you read in a book or can see the results of or whatever. But at this point, I would do anything to not feel the way I did. And I just said, let it go. Don't be afraid. Just go there, open mind. Don't, just let it be as it is. And it comes to you. Suddenly you realize, wow, yeah, that's true. Wow. And, suddenly you go, I never thought about that, but that is how I feel. Or, well, yeah, I didn't listen to this. No, that's why I'm here now. And all this, you suddenly you realize things you never you took for granted and never let come through. If I was sad, I didn't let me be sad, because that's not the way. I'm in control, and this is the way of thinking wrongly. And when you start to learn how to listen and how to work with your body, then you suddenly say, well, yes, of course, you are tired now. Well, let's then just sit down and relax. And it's okay. You allow yourself. Yeah. And I didn't do that before. I never, it was not easy way, but I never allowed anything else than the stipulated normal life, how you should live and how successful you are and stuff like that. And this is I think it's even more for women, a woman thing.
So.
Yeah, being good wife, being good mother, being good friend, baking and all this, and doing career as well, same time.
It's a lot.
Yes.
I call it ninjas.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. That's true.
A ninja relaxer.
Yeah. Believe in yourself.
Yeah.
Believe that you can do anything, actually.
Yeah.
Believe it. Yeah. And of course, I'm living alone, so it's a little bit more easy. I can see a wife with 4 children running around that she maybe don't have the allowness as fast as I could, because I'm just concentrating on me, and this is me now. But just allow yourself to do it and to get help and not be afraid is a very, very good start. You also had cancer.
I did 10 years ago. Yeah.
10 years ago.
And I had a surgery that basically I was working as a massage therapist and a yoga teacher. And I had 2 kids. And so I had a surgery where they removed half of my stomach muscles.
Mm.
I actually wasn't expecting that. I thought it was going to be much smaller, and then
Mm.
after I woke up, it was a lot more.
Mm.
So yeah, it was a much longer journey. I wish I knew
Yeah.
Gila then.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It's funny because I did go into the surgery with a fun attitude. I was kind of laughing, and I snuck some crystals in and
Yeah.
put under
Yeah.
my sheets, and
Yeah. I brought this.
yeah,
I brought this It's a chestnut.
yeah,
And this is my soul. I call it nut because I'm nuts now. So
yeah.
this is my. I brought this one with me, and it really helps. I bring it everywhere now because she always reminds me of that I'm a nut.
It's your
I love
inner
that.
child. It's really reminding
Yes.
you of your inner child. The
Yeah.
fact that you are a nut. I mean, you were a nut even much before the cancer.
Yes.
Only
But
you were
I did. Yeah.
you were a hidden nut.
Yes.
Well, yeah, it's funny because what it is, the nut, it's like what really it is that it's the truth, but the truth doesn't fit in society, so then it
Right.
looks crazy.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
yep, yeah.
And that's the allowness that I'm talking about. Allow
Yeah.
yourself to do or feel or actually feel whatever. It's okay.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
That way you can actually deal with it so much better
Yeah.
and have fun as well.
And it's also the freedom, and it's also what I love about our journey together is that you created the jumps or the the lobe of your consciousness in such a beautiful way, because you already released before you went to the doctor, and then you were not afraid of cancer anymore, and then you were not afraid of this, but all of those things happen not because you had to, but because you were prepared before and you released before.
Yes. Yes.
It was so beautiful to see.
Mm.
And the speed of the things, it just,
Mm.
I love it.
Mm.
I feel honored.
Yeah. Well, I
Really,
did too.
beautiful
Because
journey, really.
as you said, Angelica, I wish you could have known Gila at that time, 10 years ago, because
Mhm.
it's a different way to experience cancer altogether.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it's fun. It's so much fun. It's like you are in a party or at a rave party all the time.
I love that.
Yeah. Yeah, it feels like that all the time.
Oh, that's
Even
awesome.
in the shower, when you shower, you Yeah, it is really. It's amazing.
Oh, I love that image. It's awesome. So thank you so
Oh,
much
yeah.
for coming back home to yourself.
Yes.
But also
Thank
like
you. Yeah.
for yeah, welcome back. Party.
Thank you. Thank you. It's lovely to be here again.
And also just your generosity of like, being willing to share your story with everyone so that it can be an inspiration for them.
And I'm really happy to do it.
Yeah.
If it can, as I said to Gila, if it can help one,
Worth it. Yeah.
it's worth everything.
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
it's something that everybody should have, as when just before they diagnose them cancer, before the biopsy, actually, they should have a Gila to go to before that on a doctor's prescription.
That's my dividing place. You see, from one hand, I want to help everybody. From another hand, I really, really want to go to the desert.
Yeah.
So we'll have to find a way where the
Yeah.
Kajabi or whatever we are planning will actually do it without
Yeah.
needing Gila all the time
Yeah. Yes.
to be able to translate it to all those people. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Malika,
I'll see you. It's a pleasure to
Thank
meet you.
you. Thank you. It was a pleasure to meet you too.
I'll see you again.